Hello and welcome to the channel. So this video series is going to be holding ourselves accountable, not only with debt, but investments later on whenever we pay off our $50,000 of debt. It's a little bit of a steep realization that we've accumulated that much in purchases. A good 32 of that, 32, 33 of that is in cars, which sucks because those are depreciating assets. And we've gotten ourselves in a little bit of an upside down mess with the Kia. It's worth about half of what we owe for it. Compared to most people our age, we're pretty far behind. The median net worth for 20-year-olds, according to empower.com, is $6,000. And we're negative $24,000 each. 24, 25. So a mess this big deserves to have some sort of plan to get out of here. So the steps that we're going to be able to take to get out of this mess, it's going to look super similar to Dave Ramsey's method. Matter of fact, it basically is the first 3 baby steps. Step 1, saving an EM fund, emergency fund of about $1,000. We're thinking about also boosting that up to $1,500, and I'll point out a reason why here in just a second. The reason that we would do $1,500 is because, like, many of our debts are because of emergencies or situations that we just needed to move. One of them is one of the emergencies we had to take care of was the Kia here. It's a great vehicle. We were able to get it with a nice warranty and everything. Thing that isn't nice about it, we got raw dogged with no lube by the bank. It was higher, but I refinanced it pretty quickly to go from 25 down to about 20% interest. That is still a ridiculously high amount for a car, which sucks, to be honest. We still have quite a few miles left on the warranty, which is good because it's already helped us out with one bad part that Kia unfortunately has problems with. But it helped out with that. Thankfully. Another emergency that we had. This one's less of an emergency, so I probably wouldn't even consider it that. But that helped us be able to move from a place that honestly was kind of bad to a better place. We did end up downsizing, which, rent being still pretty high. That's just the nature of places in our area. But we did downsize. Rent got cheaper. Unfortunately, though, we didn't have the capital immediately to move, and we put that on debt at 30% interest. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a bad move. But you know what? We made it. We get to live with it. I believe some of this belt card was due to buying groceries on it. So I'll include that in with emergencies because you need food. Food needs to happen. Our care credit, unfortunately, is due to our cat kind of trying to die. He had a blockage that is normal for male cats to get like crystals build up and like sand and debris build up in their bladder, and then it'll block their urethra, especially if they're not, like if they end up getting spayed or neutered late, or if not at all. That can happen. So he's permanently on special medicated food now. We haven't had a problem since, but it makes taking care of him more expensive. If he was to block again, he would have to have what the vets kind of jokingly said was a sex change. It's not. What they do is they go in and widen the urethra, and that's essentially it. It makes it more similar to a female cat's urethra rather than being a male cat's urethra. So they jokingly call it a sex change. It's not really a sex change, but you know. Multiple of our firms were us buying groceries on a firm because we were naughty and ate out too much that month and still needed groceries. Sorry, I had to cough a second. But yeah, multiple of these. We're buying groceries. So having an emergency fund that we can pull from when we have emergencies and getting control of our spending long enough to build up said emergency fund is going to be a big step for us. The next step that we're going to be taking is starting Dave Ramsey's Snowball. We did talk about the possibility of us doing the avalanche method. However, because we are unfortunately bad with managing our finances, it is more beneficial for us to do the snowball because you can see that progress starting to happen. When we do start the snowball, and I'll post a picture in the community tab whenever we get that, we are going to have a poster that details everything smallest to biggest and amounts. I've let my significant other kind of take the charge with making that, as she is way more artistically talented than I am. So yeah, that's going to be a big thing. After we complete Snowball, which will probably take us the rest of the year, if not into next year. Depending, things could work out really well and we get done before the end of the year, but that just depends on factors out of our control. After we get done with the Snowball, we're going to be going back to the emergency fund and boosting that back up a big amount. We're going to aim for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, just so that we have a comfortable cushion between us and life. Right now, there is no cushion, and it's a little painful. I'll touch on that later on. We did take inspiration from Wrangler Star with the poster idea. I am the spender in the relationship pretty bad. It's why I've kind of relinquished control over a lot of the bills and stuff, because a lot of this is my fault for not taking control over it sooner. Or not taking control over it, but being in control over my own self. That was a hard realization to come to and to discuss. you know, debt is hard on a relationship, and it was hard on us. But we are together, and we're going to tackle this together. Um, the poster is going to be good, especially since I'm a spender. I can spend money on the poster rather than spending money on junk we don't need. That'll be interesting once we get into a better position. Um, as the year goes on and as I attempt different projects, I will be posting videos or small clips or something of me doing said things, just so that like it keeps up with the channel and everything. Um, this is definitely going to be the year that we make a dent in our debt, but it's going to be painful. So I'm looking forward to it because we really need it. Really need some sort of break, and there's nobody coming to save us. So right now, um, as you can tell, we are missing an income. I was recently laid off from my job at a sorting plant. Um, I am looking for another job or a business that I can come up with, or literally anything to make money to fix our problem. Um, something I will be doing. I'll be making a video later on, just trying to come up with ideas to put on a t-shirt and sell. Um, I'll end up connecting that to the YouTube channel at some point, and if anyone wants to support us, that will be the way to do it. I vehemently do not believe in the idea of e-begging. So if you're going to want to help us, you're going to have to deal with getting some stuff in the mail. If you really don't want it, you can donate it to your local like Goodwill or Haven Rest or uh, Habitat for Humanity. I believe takes some clothes depending on where you're at. Um, you know, anywhere that turns goods you don't want into jobs, I request that it goes to somewhere like that. Hell, you could even give it to a homeless guy that needs warmth in the winter. I would be fine with that too. Literally just anything, like donate it, give it back, just pay it forward if you're going to get rid of it. Um, so yeah, I don't like the idea of e-begging at all. But I will be developing products. Um, I'll be using a print-on-demand service, so I won't have the best control over quality, but you know, it'll be something. And I'll just literally anything needs. I just need to do anything I can to make money, because there's a reason that's red. Right now we are hemorrhaging money. So I'll make a video going over me just designing something, coming up with an idea. Um, before anyone says, I have already filed for unemployment, because it was a layoff instead of it being a fired or a quit. So I don't like the idea of taking advantage of daddy government. It's one of the reasons that bankruptcy is not really something that I'm going to be looking at super seriously until later. Mainly because that's just it feels dishonest. and it feels really dishonest, like deep down in my soul. I'm not calling anyone who's had to use that dishonest, because I may be one of those people. Um, it just, it doesn't feel right for some reason, and I can't really articulate it the best. And because of that, it's not going to be, most people in our situation would probably already start filing for bankruptcy right now. I'm not going to until later. Let me put it that way. Hopefully that doesn't come to fruition. Hopefully we are able to just pay down our debts and not have to carry that black mark on our credit score for the rest of our lives, as bankruptcy does. But, you know, if it has to happen, it has to happen. But again, it comes down to that whole daddy government thing. You know, I got us in, well, we got ourselves into this mess. Gonna get ourselves out. And fortunately, that's an opinion that isn't shared by a lot of people nowadays. But, you know, it's my opinion of myself. So yeah, hope everyone has a great 2026. Hope this is entertaining to somebody, or is a warning to look at your own situation and, you know, start trying to get out of debt. Or maybe even just simply inspiration to get out of debt. I hope that this is the beginning of a positive story that leads to a much better situation. This date is wrong. This date is as of sorry, and that probably bothered somebody. It was bothering me too until once I noticed it, it bothered me. So I fixed it. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope everyone has a great day and a great 2026.